Hi, welcome to the BNS Working Group meeting. This week, I thought we would talk about moving this into the Stacks Foundation template. I took a little look at that the last few days. It seems like it would help us get more visibility, but also I was thinking that we could reduce the scope, like just create a group perhaps that's just focused on an upgrade, like just like the scope of it is just to get a 2.0 upgrade that satisfies the issues that we have for the Nakamoto release, and anything else that needs to be into that out, and sort of doesn't necessarily talk about layer 2, I mean layer 1 and the other side of things. So I want to throw that out there. Good.
Yeah, I like the idea as well.
Okay, cool. So what we could talk about objectives for that and deliverables, which is one thing we could do, or who wants to lead that as well, or we could talk about other things. I don't know if Hank has any updates you'd like to share, or Snazzy, anybody else in the call.
I'm happy to discuss this working group thing. On my end, as we talked about last time, I've been just doing a bunch of work to try and get this whole BNS upgrade, situation to something a bit more concrete. There are a number, a majority of sort of the posts that I made on the forum, I think are at least pretty uncontroversial and also easy to like implement. It's like sort of defined appropriately. Not that the post itself couldn't use more definition, but it's not something where I'm like, well, I have the idea, but I don't know exactly even how it would work. And then there are a few posts where either I think it's unclear whether it's a sort of good thing to include, but also, how it could or should be done. So I don't know, we could do both. I could talk about those after we talk about this working group thing.
Sorry, I'm muted. Oh, you don't have to raise your hand. Go ahead. Just jump in.
Sorry. So I have a question. Now Unisat added support for Bitcoin names at ordinals. So how will it be managed now? We need Mark, Ledger Wallet will manage ordinals names too. If we will move BNS to layer 1, how we will manage it? Because, for example, now we have a different. So before that, it was very easy because Unisat and Ordinals Wallet didn't manage these Ordinals names. But from today, with new updates, they support them. So what should we do now? I hope you understand me. Really. Sorry. My English is terrible, I know.
No problem. I think, so is the question sort of, relating to this in progress scope of work around like a bridge to move a BNS name to ordinals and back, how you'll manage them?
No, how we will manage duplicatus. Because now we will have duplicatus.
Do you mean people who are just... Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah.
I think I understand the concern as like market confusion around the resolution of ordinal-based names to certain addresses and BNS names to other addresses. So if you go to send to a username in Leather, you might get a different recipient address versus if you go to Unisat and put the same value in, because they're basically looking up in 2 different systems. Is that correct?
Yeah, look, now we have the same name. We will have the same name at ordinals in Leather, and the same name but with a different address at Unisat. It's look like this. I don't know. So it's as I see it, Unisat make it from last update. It's just 1 day. Maybe you should talk to them. Maybe they can just give it up, and I don't know what to do now.
Maybe I can give you some. I see your question, but it's really a question for literally anything in crypto. You can take a copy of Bitcoin Core, rename it as Solana, right? Just like change the name and then say it's Solana and tell people it's Solana. And how do people know it's not Solana? It's because people have a belief in which set of rules are the thing that they're trying to use. So in this case, like you can, I mean, even with the legacy DNS system, you can create an infinite number of copies of that, right? Like you can just run, you can have your own network, Microsoft.com resolves to something totally different than what it does for what people consider to be the right DNS. And that happens actually frequently. People use that as a tool. It's like a feature, not a bug. So I don't know. I think if we want our implementation of .btc to beat other people's implementation of .btc, then it needs to work better, needs to have better adoption. And you're right. So maybe some people can talk to wallets. Like maybe it's about making the tools easier for wallet people to integrate. Maybe it's about like getting people to run their own like node software that like validates these rules. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different approaches. So like, it's not like a new, I understand your concern. It's not like a new problem. It's a problem that like everything in crypto has. Like you can just call it something else, right? And then you're like, okay, well, is this really Bitcoin? Oh, that's Bitcoin Cash. Oh, okay. Well, I believe it's Bitcoin. You believe it's Bitcoin Cash. Now we have to just fight it out in the arena of ideas.
Okay.
So social media. If you have a certain view on which one should be the real .btc, then you need to write about it. You need to convince your friends. You need to not just you. Everybody does, right? Like you need to it's a communications problem. I'm not sure one person can solve it. It's just like the market naturally will solve it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I agree with that. So go ahead.
So now it's this is the question about Xverse wallet. Now they will implement SATS names, .SATS names in their wallet. If we will move to ordinals, our BNS names, will they implement .bitcoin names? This is the question. If we will have 2 wallets, Leather and Xverse, it will be much better. So who in touch with Xverse?
I'm
Yeah.
in touch with Xverse, sort of roughly, but I think this is one of the issues that we've obviously seen for a number of months now, and that is kind of overcoming the conflicts that are out there, because there's not just kind of one .btc on ordinals. I think there's several now, and there's just more and more being created, and this is one of the things that we need to figure out how we can just sort of overcome this, and how, because this dilution, it's not great for for BNS and .btc, and so this is something that I think is just really important for all of us, I think, to just kind of to talk about and come up with and coordinate. I think this is kind of one of the things I don't think that that kind of the BNS community, the developers, the council, etc., etc. So there's one thing that we've just not been doing very well, and that is coordinating things together. And I think in Hank, you've practically finished the solution now, haven't you? The L2 to L1 solution. So it's a case as I think really, in essence, kind of what we need is we just need far better coordination and far better communication as to kind of how things are going to get done, and so that we know exactly what everyone is doing, conversations that everyone has had, communication with various other teams, other marketplaces and things, because I think for the future of BNS, this is how things get done, and this is how things get done effectively and efficiently. Otherwise, we're just going to, I think, the thing that I worry about is that we're just going to continue sort of fumbling our way forward instead of actually being, very structured and doing things very sort of efficiently and effectively. Yeah, this is one of my key concerns personally. So it's not that we haven't done fantastic things, and obviously this solution, Hank, that you've developed is going to be great, because it's it's really important to ensure that the BNS community has choice ultimately. If they want to be on the L1, if they want to be on Bitcoin, that's perfectly fine. If they obviously want to stay on on Stacks, and obviously Stacks is the application layer, the smart contract layer, that's fine as well. But I think we definitely need sort of more coordination, more communication, and more of a sort of a concrete sort of plan going forward as to kind of, this is the direction that BNS is going in. This is what we're going to achieve over a certain period of time. And yeah, I think we just need a little bit more of a structured approach. This is just kind of, I'm sort of just throwing it out there. This is sort of how I'm feeling at the moment, in a way, because I'm noticing that there's a distinct lack of coordination and communication at times. And, it's no one's fault in particular, but I think we just all need to come together and communicate better. So yeah, just my thoughts.
Yeah, just quickly to add to that, I think on both of your questions, Nat, I think if we're going to talk about Unisat and Ordinal's wallets, like addition of .sats for receipt, I'd like to have them as part of this group. So maybe that's the first step. Let's invite them to join us for this, right? So we can actually discuss their views on this, because maybe we have pretty overlapping interests after all. We just haven't had that chat with them. And then same with X1st. You had a question about X1st. Let's have them here as well. I'm not sure if they've attended before or recently, but I mean,
actually, this time was specifically chosen for Ken because he could make it. So that's why we're at this time. But then I don't think he actually ever made it.
Okay. Yeah, but I think just if we're gonna collaborate, we need more people at the table, because otherwise, we do have sort of like piecemeal sort of representation, so to speak. So maybe there's somebody else from their teams too, because I know Ken's really busy, but it would be good to have regularity. And I speak for myself. I should probably show up every time versus sometimes skip.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Let me ping Yan from X1st and see if maybe he knows who could come from his team.
So this is kind of I think for BNS, like I say, that we just need to have a bit more a structured plan as to kind of what is happening with regards to BNS. Not only its development but its advancement. How do we increase adoption for BNS? Because in 10 years' time, is BNS going to be on Stacks, or is it going to be elsewhere? Is it going to be is it going to be on just purely on Bitcoin? Is it going to completely move over to Bitcoin in 10 years' time? Is this VM thing going to be a big deal? I think there's lots of things that we just kind of need to continue to discuss in more detail. And just as Mark was saying as well, we need to invite, the founders of Unisat, onto these calls. We need to invite the experts guys, on. I mean, I've been separately having conversations, and in terms of kind of the communication and the coordination fronts, I'll hold my hand up and say, I've had communication with a couple of ordinals marketplaces, and I perhaps haven't effectively communicated that with, yourself, Larry, and Hank. And so, yeah, I think going forward, we just need to have a bit more of a structured approach, and invite these guys on, because ultimately, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to advance BNS. We want BNS to improve, we want BNS to grow, we want more people to be onboarded into BNS. So I'll leave it there.
Okay, that's great. I agree with all the feedback. It's totally obvious what we're not doing. And I also take personal responsibility for what I'm not doing. I think as Gina posted a message about the upgraded working model, I think one thing that would help is if we have actual deliverables and what are we actually trying to do, and it seems like all of these things are very important, but it seems like the Nakamoto release and the fact that that's probably going to need a hard fork upgrade no matter what, because of if we want renewal to continue working and those sort of things, that seems to be the obvious opportunity to also put through some other updates. And so perhaps if we focus a group of people on working on that, and then another group could be focused on marketing and interaction with marketplaces and stuff like that, because I think it's just too much for a couple of people to handle.
Yeah, and I think it does tie back into the working group model thing, because it's the whole purpose of it is to just allow more clarity on just visibility. If other people want to know what's going on, then also how do I get involved? What are the actual work streams going on? What are the updates there? There's some more accountability, on our end, and I don't think it's just myself. We could all just do better on that front. So yeah.
Is there a good collaboration tool that we can use? I don't know, Notion. I've just been introduced to Skiff, which is the first time I've kind of used and seen that. I've just been introduced to that by Will. So I don't know if any of you got any recommendations for collaboration tools that we can just sort of, just very quickly kind of type notes on or edit, or, say such and such has done this, such and such has done that.
I mean, there were some. I mean, I'm taking notes on Google Docs right now. You can use whatever you can use whatever you want. But I guess it would be. It seems like that's more of a question for the people that are collaborating. I mean, what do you want to collaborate on something right now? What? I guess I don't really understand. I mean, do we want to I created a GitHub repo for this group a while back. I've been putting links to notes and videos there. I'm not sure how many people actually follow it. Maybe it would get more visibility if those go in the Stacks network repo. I'm not really sure how many people actually follow that either. That Mark had to ask for a link to the working group thing tells me he doesn't follow it. So not to criticize you, but I didn't follow it either until last week. Hank said, "Hey, look at this," right? And then I went and looked it up. But I think I think that there's. I don't follow Discord, so. I mean, I look at the forum. It's just people are all over the place. Yeah. So I think.
Well, that's a good point, Larry. Let's meet in the middle. So,
yeah.
So obviously you're not on Discord, and I found it very, very difficult to contact you on Discord. But I don't hang about on GitHub much, to be honest, and even the Stacks forum as well. So maybe we need a really easy place that we can just kind of just update each other. Don't know if anyone's used Notion. or if people prefer Trello, or whatever other collaboration sort of
Whoa,
project
Trello, there's a
management
blasphemous
tools.
pass. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Gina just shared BNS console. I mean, so you missed this last week. There was a talk, like, Chris from console wants us to try a BNS community on that, and like you can only log in with your .bdc name. Would that be something you'd be interested in, Nancy? I mean, we know everybody's in Discord.
Yeah, I'd be fun. Yeah.
Just to sort of add a little bit more color, I feel like it's something we could literally try out just for casual chat in terms of being like, yo, what are you up to? Or are we posting this on the forum? Like sharing updates. I'm not advocating to try and totally change tools from Discord, but maybe, just because I feel like there's kind of a small group of stakeholders who are in these calls on a regular basis. And so if we just wanted to keep each other updated, test it out, see if it works, that would be just one idea. I agree that there's about 1 million project management tools. I think if we do start on the working group model, we'll probably be pushed to utilize GitHub for some sort of regular updates there. But I was just thinking for sort of the more casual chat that happens async, if y'all would be open to trying it.
That's a great idea, Gina. And at least if we do have, a primary source to go, we can always link to the other pieces from there. But right now, we don't even have that primary place to go to find out where the other information may actually live. And, some people may prefer Basecamp, some people may use Asana and for different projects, and that's fine as long as we can access it and you can link to it through, console, for example, which I think was a great idea to try. It accomplishes other things as well. We're kind of eating our own dog food, when it comes to that, which I think is important for this community in order for it to flourish and grow.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree we could use more organization, collaboration, outreach, and everything. It's not that we can solve right now. I think we need places where we can talk with the community. I think Discord is a good place for that. Then places where we can talk more individually, because there are just some conversations that are just easier to have async, privately with like stakeholders. And then, so it's like, where do we do that? Where do we share updates publicly? How can we be more accountable on that? That I do think the working group sort of accountability, just the model could work well, but let's just, I don't know, talk async and I think just try and talk more. I think, other than this chat, and we'll make progress on that front.
Well, I have to run really soon. I have a hard stop, but I'm going to be in London next week. I think Mark said he's going to be in London for the Bitcoin Unleashed event. Snazzy's going to be there. I'd love to get together with everybody and have a drink. Maybe find 30 minutes or an hour or whatever just to talk about this stuff. If we can't find a dedicated time, we can at least just asynchronously chat in person. Thanks for the link, John.
You guys have fun.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there, Hank?
No, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's far, I understand. I'm hanging around Europe waiting for this conference. I wish it was earlier so I could just go home.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I'll see you there, Larry.
Great. Look forward to seeing you, Saturday. Okay. Well, then see some of you next week. And hopefully we can have. I guess I'll take a stab at the template for the working group, and I'll post that on the forum, just a draft of it, and then we can. Because I don't know how the process works on GitHub. I don't want to put it there and then people think that I'm proposing it. We can put it on the forum and decide if that makes sense. And then once we all are happy with it, then post it into GitHub.
Thank you. Let me know how I can help.
Brilliant. Cool.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Thank you.